Plantagenet, John, by the Grace of God, by Mike Walker.
There will come a cloud of darkness upon this land, and a great king shall die, and a beast shall cast down men, and holy church will fall.
In this world, is it as the Lord makes it, or does a man make his own destiny?
Heed of my words, sinners, but I am the prophet of the Lord, and will be heard in this land. I am Peter of Wakefield, and
I have known many a man, and women too, who seem to take their own paths through this life, but in the end, was it God's design they followed, or perhaps the devil's? For it is surely a well-known fact that though there is a spark of God's holy light in each of us, in some there is an ice-cold splinter straight from hell. Did the Lord tell him, that raggedy-arsed prophet of Lionheart's End?
I'm going to take a look, see what's happening out there.
Sire, are you sure it's safe?
Safe? When did safe ever worry the king, soldier?
Ah! God's teeth, God's holy teeth. I'm hid. The king's hid!
Did God tell his prophet of the beast's ascension? Is that what he announced on that rainy day in Wakefield?
Dead? He's dead? Dead? He's dead?
No, John, merely wounded.
Dear.
Besieging one of my castles, walking round the moat taking pot shots with his crossbow. Used to do the same thing at Acre, showing off. Only this time someone shot back.
But what do they say, Philip? What do the doctors say?
That I haven't as yet discovered. But rest assured I will.
And then we make our move?
I can count on you, John, to stick by your duty to me. Together we are strong, and when you are king, you will deliver as promised.
Oh, absolutely.
God's bollocks, man, I could have done that better myself.
Sire, I do my best.
Shut
I
up.
can
What does it look like, Marshal? You never lied to me. Don't start now.
It doesn't look good, sir. Here. This'll hurt. You shouldn't have gone out on your own, unarmed.
He warned me about that.
He?
Saladin.
You met him? I never knew.
It was near the end of the business. We were before Jerusalem. I'd lost heart for the crusade. The rest of them were never going to pull together this side of Armageddon. I'd gone out into the desert with young Robert of Champagne to try and think my way through. Just me, a few men I could trust, and the desert night. That's what I thought.
You know, I begin to like this Lionheart. It's a pity he will die with the dawn. Are the men ready?
They are ready.
Tell the commanders to move in. Wait until the first rays of the sun touch Lionheart's banner, and then attack.
They were good. Saladin's best. They outnumbered us 10-1. We were sleeping then. Thank the god of wars, one of them lost it.
God is great! God is great!
You know what it's like, Marshal, to be in a fight for your life.
Get up! Get out! We're attacked!
It's all glimpses. A sword pulled from the scabbard. Outside in the dawn light, the clink of armor. You parry, you thrust low and hard. You go forward. No time to work out what, how, who. You swing. Blood in your eyes, yours, his. Someone gives you a shield. Everything is so simple. You fight. You kill. This is what you were made for. This is what you are. He was watching.
He fights like a king, Adel.
But he fights on foot, brother, and they press him hard.
If it is God's will, then let him die. But as a king, we do not hate our enemies if they are worthy of respect. Adel, take him a horse. Allow him the time to mount, then press on. Take my horse! A king's horse for a king.
It was the finest act of chivalry I have ever known, Marshal.
And you fought your way out?
Damn near finished me, but we did it. We survived that fight.
I am Richard, Count of Anjou, King of England. Let any man face my lance. Let any man come out and fight, and we shall settle this.
And no one comes.
And you, brother?
It's not king's work to fight each other. But perhaps we shall talk.
Afterwards, I was sick. Some illness of that place, or a sickness of the heart through knowing that my enemy was a better man than any of my allies. We had talked to ambassadors before. This time, in the desert. Face to face.
The season of storms is coming. Soon the ocean will be uncrossable. If I am to go home, I must go now. If you will agree to a truce, I will do so. If you do not, then I shall pitch my tents here. Both sides are exhausted. If we carry on this war between us, then both will be destroyed. Win my friendship. Accept my respect. Make a peace between us.
You will hold the territories you have now, my lord, and the coast between Acre and Jaffa. Ascalon will be an open city for 3 years. After that, let him have it who can take it. Jerusalem you will renounce. If this is acceptable, then we will have peace between us.
Let it be so.
Then here is my hand on it.
And here is mine.
You have the heart of a lion, my lord. But a little advice from a desert fox. Do not always be in the front rank. For one day, God may allow chance to strike you down. It is not king's business to play games with chance.
But perhaps it is God's to play games with kings.
As he wills it.
As God wills it, Marshal. It's not in my hands anymore. I came back to put a stop to Philip plotting. God has put a stop to me.
This is nothing, sir. You...
No, I won't. Now, Marshal, it must be the family. John to succeed, not young Arthur of Brittany.
Many of the barons prefer Arthur. Philip will support him if it comes to a fight. He's Geoffrey's son, your nephew. He's honest and trustworthy, and no one could ever accuse your brother of that.
Marshal, listen to me. There must be continuity. The family goes on. Father, me, John. See to it. A pity, really. We'll never know now.
Know what?
Who was best, Marshal? You or I?
You are struck dumb now, O sinners! Your bowels filled with the stones of Hebron that bruise the heel of him who mocks. For now doth the beast stir in his den, and raise his snout, and open his bloody jaws to show his cruel teeth to the world.
And so to John, by grace of God, King of Anjou and England, He's waited and plotted for this since he was a child. Now, almost 40, in some ways still a child, but also...
King! I'm king! I'm king! I'm king!
It is a time of trial. In France, John's nephew, young Arthur Plantagenet, with an army at his back, besieges Eleanor of Aquitaine, and whatever he thinks of his distant mother, John will surely have to come to her aid.
I'm king! I'm king! I'm king! I'm king! I'm king!
But people are suspicious. John's no fighting man, and they know God sides with the fighters and the winners.
My dear friends! We are full of joy to see you here at our court at this time, when we call upon all our loyal followers to stand by us and by our right to reign as king by grace of God! Right. Thank you. Now, my mother is besieged in France by Arthur of Brittany. I mean to take an army and raise that siege, so there is not a moment to be lost. To war!
No fighting man, but cunning and many-faced.
And I don't have to remind you, do I, my good friends, that war does not come cheap. So I will need your support and your men, and also your coffers to be opened for the sake of England! I hope that's not going to happen every time I ask for money. You could hear the snap of closing purses like hail on a helmet.
Well, they've paid a lot, the English. The Crusade, your brother's ransom, his war against Philip of France, and now this.
Do they think I'm going to let my mother fall into Arthur's hands? Since he's in Philip's hands, it'd be like handing her over to France.
But as far as they know, sir, you and Philip are still allies. Didn't you promise him the provinces?
Tactics, Marshal, makes strange bedfellows. Besides, that was against Big Dickon. Now he's gone, then Philip can go whistle. I don't need his help.
Ah, but that's the problem, sir. Philip can whistle, and any tune he likes. Over the years, he's become a very shrewd operator.
You're getting old, Marshal. Too old to fight.
Oh, I'll die with my sword in my hand.
But when?
When it pleases God.
Oh, God. God and the bloody church. They could bore a lump of rock to death. Now, shall we go rescue my mother and give that streak of piss Arthur a kick up his tight arse? Gerard!
I do not like this man, Gerard, sir.
Well, Marshal, he's my man, and I do.
He's a mercenary. His men are scum.
He's what I can afford since the bloody barons aren't paying their share. Gerard.
At your service, sir.
Are we ready?
Oh, my boys are hungry for it.
Your boys have already stripped every cow and goat, stolen every penny, and molested every woman in this province.
I'll tell you what, Will my arse. When you're king, I'll get on my knees and give you one, but until then...
It's nothing for the king's popularity.
I don't give a tinker's turd for the king's popularity. My business is with his enemies. Sir, what is your order?
Attack! Now!
Would you attack while they're still sleeping and unprepared, sir?
Would you, Gerard?
Best time. Catch a man with his breeches off and his cod in his fist.
Then go to it! Yeah!
There are so many of them, madam, and their tents stretch forever, and...
Don't lose heart, sweetie. John will come.
It's been so long.
He will come.
Will we still be here?
The walls are tall and thick. As long as the food lasts, we last. I will not give up my land, or my son's throne for Arthur of Brittany.
They say that Arthur is a thing of chivalry.
Paragon.
Is that like a basilisk?
Not really, child. He's not really anything except full of himself. He's the tool of others.
But doesn't he have a claim to the throne?
A sort of claim, yes. Mostly it's Philip and the barons of France who want someone they can use for their own ends. They know John will go his own way, not theirs.
Then when will the king come and save us?
Oh, Oh, just about now, I should say.
Some good ransoms here, sir.
We'll need every penny we can get.
Shall I accept paroles and let him go?
Oh no, Gerard. I've got them in my fist. I intend to squeeze them a bit. We'll send them to England until their families pay up.
It's unusual, sir.
When I want your opinion, Gerard, I'll pay for it. Until then, stick with the fighting.
As you say. I believe Lord de Roche wants a word.
Did his men fight well?
We'd have lost it without them.
Does he know we've captured?
He knows.
Gerard, be elsewhere.
Go. My lord.
I give you joy of our victory, sir.
We've taught Philip a lesson. He thought he could play me. He was wrong.
Even so, they fought bravely.
Does brave matter when you've lost?
Surely it means everything.
Loser pays. That's what it means. The ransom will help fill the exchequer. After all, your people will want paying too, my lord, and you shall be handsomely rewarded.
Thank you, sir. I fought for no reward other than to do my duty towards my lord.
Well, that's splendid, and we shall remember it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must see my mother.
Of course. I hear you captured Arthur of Brittany. It is true?
Things are still a little confused.
Then let me help you out of your confusion. Your Majesty, you did. He is in your custody. Perhaps they didn't make it clear.
Oh, I'll have a word.
I don't need to remind you, of course, sir, that according to the terms of our alliance, I have the right to hold and make any decisions as to the future of that young man.
You do not remind the king, de Roche?
Then you will release him to my custody.
That isn't possible at this time, I'm afraid.
The agreement was signed and sealed by both of us. He is mine.
And yet I have him. And you do not. And will not. Until it suits the king.
Then I will withdraw my forces, sir. Until it pleases the king to honor his word.
You know he'll go straight to Philip. If we lose...
Yes. Now I must see my mother. I've kept her waiting long enough.
John! My dearest boy. My Lord King. I knew you would come.
Of course, Mother.
And a complete victory. Your brother would have been proud of you today.
I am glad you think so, Mother, knowing how much you cared for Dickon.
I care for you all.
In your way.
In a family way. And now, you are king.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had enough of politics and the affairs of the court.
Are you finally going to that convent of yours?
I am. I have confidence in you, John. I know you will rule wisely. Now young Arthur is no longer a threat.
Whilst he lives, he's a threat, Mother.
Then you must guard him well. As your brother's son, his claims are not as good as yours, but there are those who will support him.
You say that, but... Oh. And who's this?
I'm Isabel, Your Majesty.
Are you indeed?
Of Angoulême. I believe you know her mother.
A very beautiful lady, but not near as lovely as her daughter.
You're very kind, sir.
Oh, that's the least of my accomplishments, sweeting.
Isabel, you should go to your lessons. The king and I have matters to discuss.
Of course, madam. Your Majesty, may I leave?
Only if you promise to come back very soon.
But my nurse is most strict, sir.
Lucky nurse. You must promise now.
John, there are matters we must attend to.
Promise.
Promise.
I must have her, Marshal.
It's impossible.
Nothing is impossible for the king.
She's young.
She's beautiful.
She's very young.
She's very beautiful. And besides, she's of an age. Just'll do it.
And you're married.
I'll divorce. Technically, we're cousins, so there won't be any problem with the Pope.
She's promised.
Promises are broken all the time.
Not to Hugh of Lusignan.
To anyone I choose.
John, You're king now. You have to take the long view. It's not just what you want anymore. It's about Anjou and England.
Yes, I'm king, and I can take what I want, and I want her.
You won't take it lying down.
Well, he won't be getting it lying down, so he'll just have to put up with it standing. Isabel is a delight, and she will be mine.
For the love of God, Your Majesty, if he joins with Philip...
His brother thought him a snake. His father loved him and was betrayed by him. His mother fears what will happen now she is in her convent. I was his ally for a while, but...
You never trusted him?
Not at all, de Roche. I trusted him to do more or less exactly what he has done. John is incapable of walking a straight path. He has his father's deviousness without his far-sightedness. He has Richard's impulsiveness without his courage.
He also has Le Signon's bride, Isabel.
John sees, John wants, John will have, whatever the cost. But what he doesn't consider is that in the end, there will be no one left to believe a word he says.
And then we move?
Timing is all. We have you, my lord. We have Hugh of Lusignan and 24 others. I've even made approaches in Aquitaine.
Well, there'll be nothing there whilst Queen Eleanor lives.
She's over 80, de Roche. Even she can't go on forever. And in young Arthur of Brittany, we have a king in waiting, with almost as much right as John to sit on the throne.
Philip of France has tested himself against the old Henry and Richard, both giants in their time. Against John, a smaller man in every way, he knows he only has to wait. To be honest, I don't believe he cared a jot about Arthur, only about what Arthur would, in time, cause John to do.
Cousin, good day to you.
Actually, Arthur, cousin is usually used between reigning monarchs.
I am a monarch, cousin. My claims are clear in this matter.
How old are you?
I'm older than your new wife. Still, cousin, I suppose it's nice to have someone beside you who isn't a head taller than you are.
So, Arthur, here we are, and things being as they are, I would take it as great kindness if you would renounce for once and for all, before the holy altar, any claim at all to the throne of Anjou and England.
I have the blood of kings in my veins. I cannot renounce what I am. I may be young, but I tell you now, I will never betray my ancestry, my duty before God and man, my family, and
so that's a
the
no,
hopes and aspirations of the people of England who are, even as we speak, groaning under the burden of unfair tax.
Gerard!
Sir?
That boy!
Sir?
Put his eyes out, and then castrate him!
Sir?
All right, castrate him first, and then put his eyes out, Yes, let him see what he's losing. Or maybe blind him first, and then he wouldn't know until he felt the knife. It's not easy, Gerard, all these decisions.
Why not sleep on it, sir? There's time enough.
Exactly so, Gerard. There's time enough.
Time to wait until perhaps the only break on his behavior is removed.
Are you there?
Madam, I am here.
So many things I've done in my time. I have ridden in the sun, in the Holy Land, in full armor. I've been twice crowned a queen. That rainy day in London, the cold eating into my bones. Henry standing there. The king. The king. Sons and daughters souls. You must swear to me you will be our man always. Always ours. Whatever John does. Whatever happens.
I swear it now.
Do not let him lose his way. No. Leave me. I their business with a greater heart than even yours will.
And thus died Eleanor, twice queen, mother of 2 kings. Perhaps the Lord did her a kindness, taking her before we all got lost.
I'm going to get you! Here I come! Round the corner, and oh, you vixen!
You'll have to be cleverer than that to catch me.
Where are you, you?
Here!
You...
Here!
You...
Here!
Here! Nothing! Why, I think you're a sprite, madam, or you've a map of this maze about your pretty person.
Oh, I have not. That would be cheating, sir.
Well, when I find you, I'm going to make sure.
Find me first, then. And don't get lost.
Devil take the man who made this maze. I'll have him cut into 1,000 pieces, with one piece buried at every wrong turn. Wait, I've been here before.
Are you sure?
Oh, bugger. Marshal, are you close, sweeting? Shh. Be like a mouse. Not a word, and maybe he'll go away.
Maybe it's important.
There you are. I found you. Won't let you go now.
Sir, are you there? I must speak with you.
You didn't find me. I found you.
I knew where you were all the time.
Oh, you so did not.
Sir, Your Majesty.
Did not.
Did. Hush now. Shh.
Majesty! Your Majesty!
Sir, it will not wait.
Leave me alone, Marshal. I'm in mourning for my mother.
King Philip is not in mourning. He's on the Loire.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. So what's Philip done now?
He's gathered an army. Any number of allies. Support from the magnates of France.
He's advancing here, here, and here. But more important, we still hold the main territories. Normandy and Brittany are solid.
Wine here, our cups are empty.
Are these maps accurate?
As near as we can make them.
And our forces?
Here and here, on this line going southeast. We can wheel and move towards the Loire at any time.
How stands England in this?
The Chancellor, Canterbury, York, the Barons, so far are solid.
Support, but no money?
Silver is coming, sir. Our people over there are basically going into the treasury and taking what we need. There are going to be big bills down the line.
Well, we'll worry about that when we come to it. I can always make the Barons happy somehow.
As long as there's still something left to bribe them with.
You're beginning to annoy me, Marshal. Why don't you pour more wine?
I have enough, sir.
For me, you idiot. You know what they're calling me nowadays? Out there, because they think I don't want to fight, Do you?
No, sir.
Gerard? Any of the rest of you? Yes, you do. You just daren't say it to my face. A soft sword. That's what they say. Oh, I hear these things. Well, why don't they ask Isabel? She'll tell them where to shove their soft sword. Believe you me, when I'm in the sack, it's Excalibur all night long.
The matter in hand, sir.
Brittany, Normandy will hold for us. But you didn't mention Aquitaine. Well?
There are problems since your mother died.
The Barons see their future with France. Philip has talked with them. Spent time, money.
They owe their duty to us?
No, they don't. They owed it to Eleanor as Countess of Aquitaine.
On the other hand, some of them are concerned about being within the French hegemony. The same goes for Brittany and the rest. They wonder about an alternative.
Where's the wine? More wine! Are you talking about Arthur?
I am, sir.
He'd be the perfect answer for Philip and the rest of them, wouldn't he? A boy king of England under the influence of France. They'd go for that, wouldn't they?
I think they might. Fortunately, we have Arthur.
Exactly. So, Gerard, let us be up early in the morning and march to the Loire. Give Philip a bloody nose and send him skulking back to Paris.
That sounds like my kind of plan.
Marshal, I want you to set up embassies to all the major lords throughout Anjou and assure them of our goodwill. You know the form. Make them, happy. Where's my knight? My knight was...
Here is your knight. I took it. so?
Well, all right. Let me think about it. There.
And there.
You're
forked. Lose your second night or be in check again.
No way out?
I win. You lose.
You know, they say I could lose a kingdom for you, sweetheart.
I lost a great night for you, John.
No, Hugh was an old man. No good for you, honey sweet. And as for getting out of a tricky position... There. Game over. I win.
You cheated.
In love or war, all things are fair, fair maid.
In love and war, Sir King, a man with a soft sword is no good at all. I will say good night to you.
A soft sword? Well, let's see who has it in him and who puts it in. Soft sword. You there? Open. Open for the king. Oh, sorry. Do I wake you?
I was praying, cousin. I can pray later. We can all pray later if we wish for mercy.
You know, Arthur, during the time you've been here, you have not managed to become any less of a stuck-up, self-opinionated, sanctimonious, irritating streak of piss than the day I first captured you.
I believe Lord de Roche captured me, cousin. You were somewhere in the rear.
Drink?
No, thank you. And I think you should put the bottle aside. From what I hear, you'll need a clear head in these coming months.
Oh, is that what you hear?
I hear many things, cousin. I hear that King Philip has an army on the Loire. I hear the barons throughout Anjou are beginning to see their lord for exactly what he is, cousin. I am prepared to be fair. I will sit down and discuss across the table exactly how the map of Anjou and England will... Ow!
No, sorry, Arthur, but I didn't ask what you thought, just what you heard, because really, I don't care what you think.
Oh, that hurts. Stop that.
What? Oh, sorry, but you know how swords are, nasty, long, pointy things. Oh, dear. You seem to be leaking, Arthur.
Stop. I'm your prisoner under all the laws of... Ow, cousin. John, ow, please stop. This is... No.
Seems all right to me. Oof, there's another.
God, help me, please help. Oh, God.
Arthur, they're my guards. And as for God, well, yes, and here he is. No, not here. Perhaps he's busy somewhere else.
Please, John, please don't. It isn't fair. It's right.
Stop whining, Arthur.
I beg you, John.
Shut up. God, take this upstairs. Tie a rock to it. Throw it in the moat, will you?
This is madness.
He was getting on my nerves.
He was under your protection. He was your nephew. He was a boy. He was,
and he isn't anymore.
It's against every rule of chivalry in this world.
Marshal? Devil's brood, yes. Not angel's company. Devil's brood. You think my father wouldn't have done this if it suited him?
I doubt it. But if it had, it would have been for a reason, and not just because he was drunk and angry. And nobody would have known. Ever.
Nobody has to know about this.
Everybody knows about it. Before the boy was in the moat, the whole castle knew. By now, the whole country will know. All those barons you need me to make happy. Was that the word, Your Majesty? Happy? They know. Every man-at-arms and every child and every washerwoman in Anjou knows by now. And what is Philip doing? Do you know what Philip is doing?
Oh, thank you, God! Thank you!
And do you know what you have done? With this one murder, you have lost King Henry's empire. Anjou will be no more. Brittany, Normandy, even Aquitaine, all will be gone.
And you, William Marshal, will be gone. I am fed up with your whining and warning.
Now, please!
I gave my word to your mother that I would stand by the family for as long as I have breath. No one has ever accused me of breaking my word.
Maybe I have lost France. Maybe not, but I still have England. That's where I grew up. That's my home, not this place. And I'll go home to my people and my land. To England!
Listen to me! The beast of Revelations rules our land. The beast who took a child to his bed, who slew a sinless babe with his own hand. The beast is set up to rule over you, and Almighty God will not look with kindness upon the hand that gives succour to the beast. Then will England be cast down under a hail of stones and boils and stones. But God will cast the beast into a fiery pit, and he will burn for all eternity.
Are you the one they call Peter of Wakefield?
I am Peter, and I am the prophet of the Lord.
In that case, you won't need me to tell you what's going to happen next.
What happened next? John lost Anjou to Philip, and he came home to England. John said he was the first real king of England. Poor England. Now the man had nowhere else to spend his energies, his desires, his spite. For 7 lean years did John live off the fat of the land.
Hey there, herdsmen, get them in now, they're more than ready. As you say, my lord. Now, where's the factor? I need a word. Don't know that, sir.
Father! Come on, not afraid of getting those smart boots mucky, are you? Good to see you well.
You too, Father.
What? What? Oh, come on, boy. I know you. And I know when something's happened. Have done ever since the time you peed in my helmet and denied it.
You whipped me for it just the same. But it was worth it. This is more serious than that, Father.
Riders at the gate.
Lord Fitzwalter.
What are you hanging around him for? The man's dangerous.
But I think he's right.
I'm not sure I like the sound of this, Will.
And he's not alone.
My Lord Marshal. My Lord Fitzwalter. What brings you all this way to see an old farmer?
Could be I want a few tips on growing barley.
I can give you those unwillingly.
Could be I want to talk about the state of the nation.
I've been retired these 7 years.
Like Cincinnatus. Didn't recognize no my history, did you?
Can we go inside, Father?
If we're to talk treason, we best stay outside.
It's not treason, Marshal. It's simply too damn much for any man to bow beneath. John playing the two-backed beast with every wife and daughter he takes a fancy to.
He thinks being the king gives him right of way up every skirt in the nation.
He's beggaring the country. War, wood, wardship and women. He's screwing every last penny out of every baron and screwing every baron's wife.
Enough, Fitzwalter.
Yeah, it is enough. For enough of us to cause enough trouble for the king.
Go no further. I will not hear it.
Hereford, Carlisle, Oxford, Northumberland, York, Vesky, Salisbury, Archbishop Langton.
What did he have to say?
He opened matters to us, Marshal. The king is dismantling the apparatus of the state and rebuilding it in such a manner that he will control all aspects of law, finance, public and foreign policy directly. Only the church will have any degree of power, and knowing what he thinks of the church, that will hold no longer than is convenient for him. We don't ask for everything. He is the king.
What do you want?
The reintroduction of First Henry's Charter.
Never happened.
Well, then something like it. We cannot allow it.
I am your father. Do not tell me what we can allow or not.
I'm sorry.
But you are with these people, these barons from the north? No, don't answer that. Oh, I remember the old king and young Hal in revolt against his father.
And you sided with Hal.
But I served the king.
Well, then serve the king now. save the king from himself.
You were born in a time of civil strife, Marshal. Do you want to see it come again?
Fitzwalter talked of Cincinnatus and the Romans. Had I been a Roman, had John been Nero, then had I been emperor. But I had sworn my oath to the greatest lady I had ever known, or loved. And so it was.
What do you think? Impressive?
It's the tower, sir.
Indeed it is, and the king's enemies will languish within its walls.
Might get a bit crowded.
Langton, you're a bishop. What do you know about anything other than being on your knees before God?
I have word coming to me from every corner of the land, sire. I have talked with high and low. I know which way the wind blows.
It looks very peaceful out there.
The benefit of the long view, sir.
You're here on sufferance, Marshal.
I don't want to be here either, but I will do my duty, however hard that might be.
Oh, has anyone ever told you how insufferably self-righteous you are?
Many people. Once.
This does not advance the argument. You need to give them something they can take away and show to their people.
I need?
There is great discontent in the land.
They hate the fact I'm centralizing government and they're losing their traditional powers.
It's because they are traditional.
Times change.
Slowly. Not at this kind of pace.
I need money. They won't vote it to me. I have to raise it in some other way.
Not unfairly, sire.
The king says what is fair.
No, Your Majesty. A tyrant says that.
Be careful where you tread, Marshal. A tyrant might take exception to your manner.
And there is the matter of wives and daughters.
What? They're rebelling because I've played the two-backed beast with a few skirts?
Actually, a good few, sire.
Actually, not that good, most of them.
Consult your council, your advisors, your ministers, those you can trust. Come back to us in a few days, let us know what you've decided, and whatever we can do to help, then we'll do it.
Well, perhaps you're rebels yourselves. Perhaps I should have you both shut up in the tower.
Come on. Sir William!
Your Majesty! I did not know you rode astride.
Like a man.
That is unusual.
John says I shouldn't do it where everyone can see. They'd disapprove. Shall we? I love it! The wind in my hair! The speed!
I knew someone else who used to ride like that when she was young.
Who?
Queen Eleanor.
She never told me. She seemed so old. I was always a bit afraid of her, you know.
Most people were.
Were you?
No, I wasn't. But I was careful.
What's it like, fighting?
Huh?
Hacking someone down, racing at someone with a lance.
That's the best thing in the world. Better than hunting, better than...
Love?
It's like being... I'm not a poet, I'm a soldier. It's like being a sword with a perfect edge doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
Will you be my knight?
I don't
John
think...
stole me from someone else, and I like him, I do. But he's silly. He's often silly, and he does things that are wrong, even when he knows they are wrong, because he can't not do them. And I don't know what's going to happen, but our boy, little Henry, whatever happens, he must be safe. Because things are bad, aren't they? I can see that. They think I can't, but John could lose everything. And my son must be, one day, the king. But if he's going to be king, then someone has to be there to watch over him and keep him safe and teach him how to be a king. Like Richard, like Grandpa Henry. And I don't know if I can. But I know you can. If you will be my North Star. I have no one else I can trust. No one else I can turn to.
And you hardly know me, Isabel.
Everybody knows you.
Madam, I will be your knight. I will defend your honor and that of your son, whilst there's life left in my body.
Then take this as my favour, Sir William. Thank you.
Langton, Marshal, go and talk with these barons. I'll give them safe passage to Oxford. Meet them there, assure them of my care and love, discover their concerns in this matter, and I will do all within my power to satisfy their lawful and loyal requests, that we may live in amity as one nation. This delivered and sealed under my hand.
We have your word, sire?
Oh, absolutely.
What drove the man to follow the paths he did time and time again? Was God guiding and supporting the king? Or was it all the work of the Plantagenet's true patron? And was John in hell already, compelled to repeat every mistake over and over for eternity?
Let us ask God's blessing upon this meeting, and that he will grant us the wisdom to resolve these issues.
Let us hope the king has the wisdom to listen.
He'd better if he wants the taxes to run the country.
And its citizens of all degrees.
You're here, the bishop's here, I'm here. I think that shows the king's good intentions in this business.
Shall we get to it? There's a lot to be done.
We need to sort out the heads of the matter first, and then...
to that point.
Looking at these points,
Earls and barons shall not be immersed. Are we happy with immersed?
It seems clear enough to me, and we've been over it a dozen times already.
Except by their peers and in accordance with their offence, yes?
It doesn't seem that the northern barons call the tune.
Agreed. The 25 to be chosen from all sides in this matter, so no one side predominates.
Who intrudes?
Excuse me, gentlemen.
Bloody mercenary!
Gerard, what are you doing here?
I have a message from His Majesty to his loyal barons.
Better be good.
Oh, it is. His Majesty has taken the cross.
What?
Silence, please. Gentlemen, we must have silence. Otherwise...
He has vowed to travel to the Holy Land and regain Jerusalem.
Soft sword!
They'll never leave England.
I merely deliver the message.
But what does it mean, anyway? It's nonsense.
Tell them, Langton.
It means, under papal law, which the king recently swore to uphold, that as a crusader, His Majesty does not have to take part in any civil legislation for a period of 3 years.
Strictly bastard!
So you might as well all go home. Game's over.
No, it isn't. Marshal, did you know about this?
I give you my word, I did not.
Then you tell him. It's not over. We tried to do this peacefully.
Watch your language, my lord. This is close to treason.
If you want to walk out of here alive, Gerard, I would shut your mouth and keep it shut.
You tell the king, it is not over.
I give you Jerusalem regained! Rejoice! Rejoice! Rejoice!
It's not very big, is it?
But it's very well done. They assured me it's exactly like the real one, but with raisins of the sun.
And no Saracens.
A distinct advantage. What do you think, Langton?
It is very handsome, Your Majesty.
And tasty too. Try some, sweeting.
Marchbone. Spices.
Saffron, cinnamon, dried lemons here. No expense spared on my crusade. And think of the saving to the nation. Your barons should like that, Langton. Fall to, man, fall to.
I think they may not see the amusing side of it.
They can see my backside for all I care. I have the Pope's letter. He says those who oppose my will are, and I quote, worse than Saracens, since they impede the holy work, let them choke on that.
They've sent a deputation to His Holiness.
It won't make any difference. It's all sewn up. The Pope and I understand each other perfectly.
Better, I hope, than you and London.
London is mine. I gave them the right to elect their own mayor.
And you've taxed them to beggary for the last dozen years.
Watch your tongue, Bishop. You're not William Marshall.
And you don't have London anymore. Your Majesty.
Gerard?
Sir, are you all
What
right?
are you saying, sir?
The city has opened its gates to the army of God and the Holy Church. And at its head rides Fitzwalter, self-styled Marshal of same.
Where's our bloody Marshal when we need him? He's supposed to be a soldier.
I believe he's buried in the committee you set up specifically to look at proposed changes to government to be enacted when you return from the crusade.
All right. What can we do, Gerard?
Move.
Where?
Anywhere but here. You need room to manoeuvre and plan.
They're not going away, these lords. The demand for a written guarantee of the Crown's rights, privilege and responsibilities is not going away. Their control over your ability to tax and raise revenue is not going away either.
Gerard?
No, sir. Some things the sword won't settle. I suggest we get the court on the road and see what support we can drum up in the rest of the country.
I mean, it's not like I've been a bad king. Not really bad. They never gave me a chance. I gave up France for my people and how do they thank me? With revolt. I'm trying to make this nation oh well. On the road it is then.
That's Corfe Castle, my sweet. We'll be safe there.
Why are they chasing us, Mother?
They want the king to do what they want, Hal.
But he's the king. They should do what he wants. When I'm king, I shall make everyone do just what I tell them.
I hope he'll be a wise and clever and kind king too.
Does the king have to be kind, Mother? Father, do you have to be kind?
Well, sometimes, Hal, I'm kind because I want to be kind. But sometimes to be kind, you just have to be a little bit cruel. You see, people don't understand that. Maybe when you're king, you'll find out how it is.
Are we staying at the castle?
Yes, we have friends here, but only for a while. We'll be moving on soon.
But why don't we ever stay in one place, Father?
Soon, maybe soon.
There must be an end to it sometime.
You know, sweeting, I think I begin to understand how my father must have felt when it all went wrong for him. But he always had a plan. You see, Hal? Always have a plan. Yeah!
Mother?
Sometimes, sweetheart, I think it's better not to have all those plans. There are so many things to go wrong.
An oath has been sworn on our part, and by the barons here gathered, that the men in our kingdom shall hold all the aforesaid liberties, rights, and concessions freely and completely, and this shall be so for us and our heirs, and for them and theirs forever. Witness the above, given under our hand in the meadow called Runnymede, on the 15th day of June in the 17th year of our reign. Langton the seal.
It is done.
And royally and nobly done. I say this day, God save the king.
God save the king! God save the king. Then let us depart this place in trust and amity as men in one kingdom, and meet later to feast and celebrate.
Did you like that, Marshal? Is that what you wanted?
It is what is, sir.
Oh, you think so? You think I'm finished, do you? Is that what they think? Ha! Not a chance. The devil's brood never lie down, never give up. Oh, I've got plans, Marshal. Don't think I haven't worked this out, start to finish. I've got the Pope. I've got friends in this world. I'll be back, just you see. They'll never beat me. This rubbish will never stick. Forget it, Marshal. I'll call in the taxes. I'll raise an army, the greatest army you've ever seen. I'll chase them down. I'll destroy them. They'll come begging for terms, any terms I care to give them, and then I'll go to France with my army, and I'll take back every yard of land that bastard Philip took from me.
He died a year later, and he never did give up. Until the end, he always thought there was some trick he could pull, someone he could cheat or beguile or make happy. But in the end, there was no one left except death, and he makes no deals. As for me, William Marshal...
That's it, Henry. And steady. Guide him with your knees. Eyes on the target. Eyes on the target.
I did it! I did it! Will! Look at me! I'm the greatest knight in the world!
Well done, lad! Done like a king!
Done like a true English king.
In Plantagenet, John, by the Grace of God, by Mike Walker, King John was played by Neil Stuke, Queen Eleanor by Jane Lapotaire, Queen Isabel by Emerald O'Hanrahan, and Prince Arthur by Ryan Watson. Richard I was played by Ed Stoppard, Saladin by Raad Rawi, and Eladel by Khalid Laith. William Marshal was played by Stephen Hogan, Girard by Joseph Cohen Cole, Baldwin by Ewan Hooper, Fitzwalter by Piers Wayner, and Prince Henry by Bertie Gilbert. Other parts were played by Bruce Alexander, Ewan Hooper, John Biggins, Philip Fox and Rhys Jennings. The director was Jeremy Mortimer.